Hi, I'm Jon Kirkman. I'm a music journalist and a broadcaster based in the UK. Good to have you here today with me. Today, we're talking about this. Now, this concert took place, I think it's the 23rd of February. It took place on George Harrison's birthday, and what would have been his birthday. And in this concert, Mick Fleetwood actually tells a great story about the Beatles and Fleetwood Mac. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can watch the DVD or the Blu-ray as it is here. Now, this is the Blu-ray and 2 CD package. There's a tribute to Peter Green. It was done for the Teenage Cancer Trust in the UK. There's a whole cavalcade of stars on here. Just some of them I'm going to mention. Christine McVie, Neil Finn, Jeremy Spencer, Rick Vito, and obviously Mick Fleetwood. They were all been in Fleetwood Mac or still are in Fleetwood Mac, depending on which way you look at it. You've also got some great artists like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. You've also got Steve Tyler from Aerosmith. You have Kirk Hammett from Metallica, who plays an absolute blinder of a solo on both Shake Your Money Maker and the Green Manalishi. And he's actually playing Peter Green's Les Paul. He actually bought it, I think, from Gary Moore. Paid a lot of money, but oh boy, does he make that guitar sing. Absolutely incredible. Now, this was actually recorded before Peter Green passed away. Peter passed away in August. Now, you see there's a little extra thing put in here with the date of his birth and his death on there. And on the back, some really nice words from Mick Fleetwood, and they really are heartfelt. Mick has always been a great lover of what Peter did, and he's championed him right the way through the dark years that Peter had, and he had a lot in the sort of 70s and early 80s. But I was very lucky to see Peter Green perform live with the Splinter Group many times, actually, over the years. And I met him. He was a lovely man, very normal, very down to earth, signed a couple of albums and box sets for me. I said, do you mind signing some albums? And he said, well, as long as I'm on them. I said, well, I'm not going to give you rumours to sign. He said, you'd be surprised. I get that all the time. I used to tell people, but I just sign it now, which gives you an insight on how the guy was. He was very humble and very, very kind of down to earth, really. Rather than argue the point, he'd just sign them for people, which was very good of him. That was the last album that Peter played on, Then Play On. Wonderful record, actually. And there's a lot of material, all in the 2 CDs there. There's the Blu-ray in there. Now, the Blu-ray is absolutely incredible. You've got John Mayall on here, Pete Townsend, Zach Starkey's in there playing drums as well, Noel Gallagher's in there. There's just so many people on this gig. I can't remember all of them, but at one point they're all on at the end of the gig, save for Dave Gilmour. David Gilmour is on a couple of the songs, notably a wonderful steel guitar version of Albatross, which is great. But he's not at the end, but it is literally a guitar army. They're all on there at the end, and they're all doing this great version of Shake Your Money Maker. This is definitely one to get, because I know, tribute concerts, but really, this is the Rolls Royce of tribute concerts. When it was recorded and filmed, Peter was actually still alive, as I said. My memories of Peter are wonderful. When I saw him live, the spark was still there. He was great. And, of course, nowhere near the way he was at his height with Fleetwood Mac and John Mayall's Blues Breakers, but the spark was still there, and he was a lovely, lovely guy. Very, very important. When he passed away, his death was carried on all the big news services around the world. He was that important. Because, of course, when you consider what Fleetwood Mac went on to become, and it all started with Peter Green, really, and it started with John Mayall giving Peter Green, Mick Fleetwood and John McVie some free studio time when they were all part of John Mayall's Blues Breakers. So if it hadn't have been for Peter Green and the Blues Breakers and John Mayall, really, we may never have heard of Fleetwood Mac. I find that hard to believe, actually, but, that's where it all began, essentially. There's so much great music on here, and although it wasn't covered by Peter Green's era, just after Peter Green's era, we have a great song that's sung by Pete Townsend called Station Man, which, as you know, was originally on the Kiln House album. We've also got Jeremy Spencer on here, who plays a blinder, to be honest with you. And I know he gets on well with John McVie and Mick Fleetwood. Neil Finn does an absolute standout job. He, of course, is in the current lineup of Fleetwood Mac. And again, Christine McVie, Do you know, I was watching it and thinking, Christine McVie, she doesn't look any older than she did 20 years ago. It's amazing. She looks and sounds absolutely incredible. And that's the whole thing about Fleetwood Mac. I mean, there's been so many people coming and going in and out of Fleetwood Mac over the years. And Mick Fleetwood's still keen on getting together the sort of rumours line up again for one more tour. And I think that would be great. And after listening to this, I got to say, he'll probably do it. Because as he always says, and he says it at the beginning of the concert, well, if not now, when? Well, actually, it's now. And that's the whole thing. So I think we're still going to hear more from Fleetwood Mac. How much more? I have no idea. But this is a lovely tribute album. I urge you to buy it. You can get this quite cheap as well. If you buy this CD, I think it's about between £12 and £14, whatever. And that's for the double CD. You can get this if you shop around for about 15 quid. So you get the 2 CD and a nice little booklet. And you also get the Blu-ray. And the concert is just incredible. Beautifully shot. And also the sound is amazing. So I can't recommend this highly enough. If you're a big fan of Fleetwood Mac, and particularly Peter Green era of Fleetwood Mac, you will love this set. Go out and buy it now. Do yourself a favour.